Well, welcome back. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon, October 21st, 2023. Welcome back to the Hotel Orloff. I thought we'd get out here and appreciate the leaves. Because man doesn't live by comic books alone. It's a beauty like this that reminds us that this is God's world. And yeah, we could look at some stuff, but I want to just drive around and look at the beautiful fall weather, ladies and gentlemen. So how have you been? It's been a pretty rough week for me. I've been in a lot of pain. I skipped out on Graphic Man's Wednesday night show, Four Color Fossils, because I was really feeling bad. But today's like the first day I've really felt a lot better, and I really been doing a lot of praying, and I'm hoping that this bout with, it's like, arthritis, I guess, back, shoulders, lower spine, the right knee, inside the right knee, and it causes you to walk around like you're Frankenstein's monster, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, this morning, my wife and I watched The Bride of Frankenstein from 1935. This is the Halloween season, of course. You could watch that any time of the year. And we watched 1931 Frankenstein last week, and some of these movies my wife hasn't ever seen, and so we're having fun watching cool monster movies and all that stuff. I've found that several old friends in the very recent past have left this world, and because voluntarily. It's a polite way of saying it. And I know that we can all be depressed, and the horrible times we're living through, looks like we're teetering on the edge of World War III, and the media is lying to us about everything, and we're being run by Luciferian, horrible, goblin-like creatures, but possible space aliens, Nephilim. But I think we need to look forward to the future, and things are going to get better. I just like my back has magically gotten better today. I don't want to. I don't want to jinx myself, but I feel a lot better today. Tomorrow, there's a. Yeah, I've been showing you. You're just looking at my ugly face. I'm not showing you the beautiful town of Rural Retreat, Virginia here. Let's drive around and look at the leaves changing color. Be thankful for what God's given us, and pray, and don't spend too much on comic books and all that garbage. Just be careful. Be careful, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Gratu Orloff Inspirational Network, and I am here to inspire you not to buy comic books, but to there's a DeSantis sign. my gosh. Guys, don't vote for DeSantis. Well, you're not going to be able to vote for DeSantis because obviously he's not going to be the Republican candidate. But oh well, I don't know. DeSantis, wonderful, wonderful. So how are you guys doing? I got a new display stand for magazines and comics. Local car dealership put an ad on Facebook Marketplace. They're getting rid of their promotional. The cars, all the new cars have these promotional booklets, right? Well, the GM and all the car companies have stopped publishing promotional booklets for the new cars. Now you have to go online to look at the cars. So they had these stands and they were selling them. So I picked up 2 of them that I can use to display vintage comic books and magazines. And they were a lot heavier than I thought they were going to be, ladies and gentlemen. And yesterday I felt like I'd been in the ring with David Nino Rodriguez for a few rounds, trying to get those things upstairs. Luckily we've got an elevator, but even so, getting them out of the car, I had a little dolly with wheels, but they were very heavy. Oh, there's another DeSantis sign. What? Well, you know why the DeSantis signs? Because he was just in town last Saturday. In fact, last Saturday I did a TV show, last Saturday afternoon, and I didn't realize Ron DeSantis was about a block from me at a little coffee shop, really nice place, but Ron DeSantis came through town, so I guess they must have given out some Ron DeSantis signs at that thing. I would be more comfortable seeing Trump signs. I've got to get a Trump sign. That's more important than getting comic books right now. Where do I get a Trump sign, ladies and gentlemen? If you know how to do that, put it in the comments down below. I'm not going back home until I see a Trump sign. I know where there's still some Trump signs from the last election that people never took them down. Yes, indeed. That's cool. And you see a truck like that parked in at someone's house. Yes, indeed. Well, let's keep driving a little bit out this way.
That you're waiting to hear. Thanks for listening to KMA 960.
I didn't turn off Ray Charles intentionally. It's just I know that that's gonna get me a copyright problem with YouTube. Look at this beautiful house there. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to retire and move out here where I'm at. You don't worry about, look at this. This is Norman Rockwell's America. See that? This is 1950s America. This is Mayberry. This is everything you've ever seen on TV about what little small towns are like. You don't worry about crime. You don't worry about riots. I mean, you could worry if you want, but they're not going to happen. You don't have to lock your car door or anything. You don't have to worry about smash and grabs. You don't have stores being looted. It's still this way in some parts of the United States. They don't want you to know this. They want you to think everything is still chaotic and chaos, and they're trying to bring down our whole society, bring in Marxism, but it isn't that way everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. You can live like this, but you gotta get out of the big city. You gotta do it quick. You gotta get out of those big cities, ladies and gentlemen. But if you move here, then I'll have some fellow comic book people to hang out with, people into monsters, stuff like that, ladies and gentlemen. You want me to drive around and show more? I could. Let's see. Oh, that's a terrible song. My goodness gracious. They have to have a power plant like that to bring the dead back to life, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't get Prevnar 20 if you had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
For information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Maryland officials are still desperately searching for Pedro Organte, the armed and dangerous suspect they believe gunned down Circuit Court Judge Andrew Wilkinson outside of his home this week after a ruling in contentious divorce case.
All
The
right,
suspect's car
let's
has
turn
been
right
found.
here.
Other judges now warning this kind of violence could keep happening unless more protections are provided for judges outside of the courthouse. ABC's Faith Abube has more.
New Jersey federal judge Esther Salas has been fighting for more protections for judges since a gunman targeted her 3 years ago, killing her son and critically wounding her husband at the front door of her home.
We are seeing lives lost and the potential for more lives to be lost.
Judge Wilkinson is the third state judge shot by a person involved in a case they were presiding
My
over
goodness
in the
gracious.
last 3 years. Last year, U.S. Marshals investigated more than 1,300 real and potential threats against protected persons in the federal judiciary.
There have been more than 7,000 reported threats against federal judges in just the last 2 years. Spirit Airlines canceling nearly 100.
Oh my gosh, we can go to our favorite restaurant in 1 hour. It opens up.
For, quote, necessary inspection. The carrier insisting it's being done out of an abundance of caution. The inspections could affect more flights over the next couple of days. Neither Spirit nor the FAA is explaining what exactly is being inspected. Passengers are urged.
They opened up a new place to eat, and it's a saloon. Last night it had its opening.
Especially for one of approximately 8 million cooler smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheSkin.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early.
Oh, shut up. Oh my goodness. There's the new saloon. It's called Trails Inn Saloon. There's a bookstore for women that sells romance books. So, let's get some good music here.
Standing with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with products, services, and protection your life not only demands, but it deserves. Visit WesternIowaMutual.com to put an agent to work for you.
Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's stop and get some gasoline, ladies and gentlemen. Just a moment, gotta gas up. Let's see how much. gas is still cheap here. Oh my gosh, what happened to this man? Service with a smile, ladies and gentlemen. Skelly. And this is Skelly himself. Very cool, ladies and gentlemen. No chemtrails in the sky. Not a cloud in the sky. I got the sun in my eye, and I won't be surprised if this is a dream, ladies and gentlemen. Everything I want the world to be is now coming true, especially for me. I'm on the top of the world, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I remember hearing that song for the first time in the family Ford station wagon. My older brother was driving me in San Antonio, and that Carpenter's song, Top of the World, comes on. I heard that song for the first time. It was a brand new song. Wow. Those were the days, man, ladies and gentlemen, when the Carpenters were putting out new music. There aren't many hip-hop stations here in this part of the country. All right, well, let's get back home to the hotel and see what's going on back in the hotel, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, yes indeed. Yes indeed. Yes indeed, yes indeed, yes indeed, yes indeed. Oh, I left the window down. Not that that would be a problem. I'm not concerned that I left the window down because I think something will be stolen from the car. It's because, you know, it might rain. It looks like it's going to rain today. The skies are looking a little ominous, you see. A little threatening. I hear Drusilla the dog waiting for us. I just wanted to go around and look at the leaves, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry if I'm being self-indulgent on this episode of the Hotel Orloff. Yes, Drew. Oh, I got some cool magazines here. Here's Country Home from June 1936. These were all in an attic. Did I just tell you that, or was I telling Kevin Johnson at Gotham City Comics? I don't remember. Hold on a second. Let's take a couple of these upstairs. Yes, indeed. Let's take this one up. Good Housekeeping. Yeah, I was told by a coworker that they were cleaning out their garage, sent a bunch of stuff to the dumpster, and then they had a whole attic filled with, they said, old catalogs from the 1940s, Sears catalogs and magazines and newspapers, and I'm thinking, were there comic books up there? And anyway, so I went there yesterday after work. I'm a little nervous about heights. But there was, neat stuff like this because I love the advertisements. I also got another, that microphone I often use here on the Orloff Inspirational Network. Now I have two of them because they had another one. Look at that. So that's neat. Oh, and I got a letter from John Gores this morning. John Gores is this great animator and filmmaker, and he just did a new piece of animation called Halloween Now. And what he does is these stickers they're like, each one is a hand-done, this is a hand-done piece of original art. Halloween Now, YouTube. You got to go type this into YouTube. Halloween Now, YouTube. And it's John Gores' channel. You got to subscribe to it. And you see that, look at this. He sent me several of these stickers. You see, they're not printed. Each one's different a little bit. How many did I get here? Here's the third one. Got to show you. You need to go to his channel and subscribe right away. Oh, and this one's really good with the red background. Look at that. Love that. Oh, tomorrow night I'm going to be on Captain Strangelife's channel at 6 o'clock p.m. Central, 7 o'clock Eastern. He's doing a Halloween special. So I'll be in costume, so you'll have to squint to figure out if it's me or not. But it's a costume contest, so those of you in the Gratu Army, you've got to vote for me. For the best costume, because he's giving away a comic book, like an original EC comic. Don't go under that. Don't go under there, Drew. How dare you? Come out of there. Drew is wanting to go under the pinball machine. I didn't want her to poop under there. Look, this was something he sent me about a week ago. It's Batman. It's the postcard, and he wrote on it, "Hey Kenneth, Cleo and company. I was just thinking I should do an entire sketchbook just with Batman and the other Bat Universe characters. Anyhow, so that'll be great. His sketchbooks are fantastic. He's always animating and sketching skeletons and monsters, and he did a whole sketchbook just with pictures of Elvira the other week." Okay. Anyway, so vote for me. Captain Strangelife's giving away an original early 1950s EC comic, an issue of Haunt of Fear. And I don't have many EC comics, so vote for me. We'll create our own 2,000 Mules scandal. Election interference, where all of you are therefore you're commanded to vote for me. All right, let's see. I'll show you what I was talking about here. This. Let me get the lights on here. Yeah, I feel really good. I beat myself up trying to move this giant, heavy piece of furniture yesterday. I mean, it was heavy. It's a brochure rack from a car dealership, and put some vintage books in it. And then I also got this one here that spins around. Sorry. And this is one of those books I just got from that attic. So they're going to pull the stuff down from the attic and have me over once it's all down, and then because I'm scared to go up there, honestly. I'm afraid I'll fall through. Although, by the way, I've lost a little bit more weight, believe it or not. I don't know if it's visible on the show. I'd gotten up darn close to 250 pounds, and and I got down to 232. But then we had a big dinner last I weighed, it was at 239. But anyway, that's still down 10 pounds. But I think that's largely, I don't think, I know that's largely causing these problems when you're just a minute, when you're gigantically overweight. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It creates a lot of stress on the knee joints. Yeah. Okay, let's look at this magazine. I've got a space cleared over there where I think I'm going to move a piece of furniture. Anyway, what's the deal? It's Good Housekeeping. It's just, it's not a monster magazine, but it's cool to read a magazine from this time period. And it's just moving back in time. Here's a ad for Jergens lotion. There's an ad asking you to decorate with linoleum. It's a wonderful time period. What is the year on this one? Yeah. I'd probably convert this channel over and make it just almost exclusively a music a channel if I was allowed to play music for you on YouTube, instead of just giving you a little 5-second clip of a song and it says copyright. What is the word? Copyright claim. Well, look at this. It's got a little Goofy's glider deal. What is the year on this first Schluggener thing, man? Is that correct? 30 cents? That's a lot of money back then. Okay, April 1941. Oh man, just a few months before Pearl Harbor, this magazine came out. I'll tell you, they knew the Japanese were coming, and they allowed several thousand of our men to be sacrificed without warning them, because they wanted the American public to be angry and galvanize them and fill them with resolve to enter into World War II. I'm going to put this in this rack. Hold on. It's hard to, I'm going to need both hands. Come on, man. All right, so now we've got 3 magazines. This is a magazine I used to do with, long story. Okay, so, but you probably came here to look at comic books. I've been told, again, I was telling you, I was told by this good friend, let me wash my hands here, that if I want to ever get a decent amount of subscribers on YouTube, I need to stop just doing it about comic books, because you're never going to get hugely popular on YouTube talking about comics. Comics are, oh boy. There's a lot of dirt on my hands. That magazine was actually dirty enough that it's turning the water not good. Okay, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, Fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I think this rack is pretty neat. I love old comic books, but I don't really love many people that collect comic books. I mean, there are people, the fossils and those kind of people. They're interesting and they're cool. But in my time, people that collect comics always tended to disappoint me. And sorry, and what else? All these people that speculate on comics, I understand that everything's kind of falling apart. The comics are going down in value. This is not a sound way to invest. There are a lot of people just in comics just to invest. I'm clearly not. This is something that's nostalgic for me that I love. But if you're in it just with your slabbed books and you want, but of course I read my books. I read them online. Well, yeah. They're just not gonna keep their value. I just don't think so. I'm not optimistic. That's not how I would, if I had any money, that's not how I would invest it. For sure I wouldn't. But let's see what we got. I was looking through these books last time, and what kind of fun is in these boxes. These are not Marvel or DC. This is independent, alternative, whatever you want to call them. American flag. A lot of American flag. Okay. See if there's anything worth showing you. Are there? Probably not. I got this book, honestly, just for the cover, because it just looks cool to me. Looks kind of... I don't know anything about Ant. I never read the comic, to be honest with you. Look at this. I think that looks pretty cool. You have to admit. Here's anti-Hitler comics. This is out from... who put this out? NEC, New England Comics Press. So it was from the summer of 1992. And it's reprints from the Golden Age. And this is the kind of fun thing. Comics stopped being fun for me kind of at a certain point in the mid-'80s, maybe earlier than that. But I still went to the comic store every week because there'd be cool stuff like this. I liked the older stuff, and they weren't making the older stuff, they were making new stuff, and I didn't like the new stuff. But that didn't change my love for the old stuff. In the comic book stores, most comic stores, well, a lot of them, had stock of old books that I would go in for. So I'd go into my local comic store. Do you have any new old books? And see, I just put out a few Silver Age books, and I would immediately find them. I could just sniff them out. This is a cool book. For sure. Anyway, anti-Hitler comics. What, are you hungry, Drew? I always liked this artist, Mike Allred. I certainly do like his style. That is a pathetic sound you are making. She's already eaten. I don't know why. What is it you need there? Just attention? Come on. What is this book? Oh, that's nothing. This was made into a movie with Pamela Anderson, Barbed Wire. I didn't even know I had any of these. I guess I got a couple of them. I guess I like the cover art there. No, I got 3 of them. She's saying, "I quit. That movie was terrible that you made about me." Oh, no, I got another one. I lie. It must be the issue where this is the movie issue. And then I'm going through here. Here's Basil Wolverton's Gateway to Horror. Look at that. It's like a self-portrait, right? You can't tell the difference, can you? It's from Dark Horse. So, well, you guys were buying your New Mutants 98. I was, what year is this from? Oh, this is 1988. Yeah, this helped, books like this helped console me that DC had destroyed in Crisis on Infinite Earths all the world of DC that I loved in an attempt to make things easier to understand for newer readers that didn't exist, because there weren't newer readers. All the kids weren't, it wasn't that the kids stopped buying DC comics because they just couldn't understand all these multiple Earths. It was because they had video games they could play in their houses. The Atari 2600 is really what was the kill shot to the comics industry. And of course also direct distribution was a huge factor, and that it used to be comic books were in every store, every convenience store, every drug store. There'd be a spinner. Excuse my language. There'd be. What are you doing, Mr. Drew the dog? Miss Drew the dog. Okay, well, fantastic. And then they stopped being there, and kids stopped being aware that comics even existed. They were only sold in comic book stores, and kids didn't go in comic book stores. I did as a kid, but I was a weird kid. Used to be normal kids bought comic books too, not just the weird ones. Here's Basil Wolverton's Space Funnies. Have them all filed under B for Basil. This one's on slick paper, and this is archival photography. This one, they've all been, the original Golden Age pages have all been photographed. Now they do digital scanning, and you probably this is from 1990. Space Hawk. I always loved Basil Wolverton from the first time I saw his art. I remember seeing plop number 1 at that 7-Eleven. We were just about to get in the car and move from Hampton, Virginia to San Antonio, and there's plop number 1. If you don't know what the cover to plop number 1 looks like, look up plop number 1 online and look at that cover with that red background. I mean, that was just like life-changing. That was probably as life-changing as seeing the Harvey Kurtzman Mad for the first time for those people a little bit older than me that were around in the early 50s. I mean, it's just Basil Wolverton's Planet of Terror. And then we've got Bernie Wrightson, Master of the Macabre. This was a great company, Pacific Comics, because they put out things like this, and Twisted Tales was a very good attempt to recreate EC. Much better than anyone else that tried to, what was Edgar Allan Poe? Creepy, eerie. They attempted to do new EC comics and everything, but Twisted Tales almost really felt like EC had never ended. And they also had another title, Alien Worlds, I believe was what it was called, and it was kind of like the EC science fiction books, to the point where the guy that ran Pacific was approached by L. Feldstein in a comic convention. He said, and L. Feldstein was like a fan of his, and he was like, "Wow, what you're doing is great." Yeah, this is the book I'm talking about. There's the advertisement. Had a Dave Stevens cover on that issue. Yeah, Pacific is a great. Man, I'm doing the yeah thing. I'm not doing the so yeah thing, but I said yeah. Yeah indicates I'm moving to another topic, or I'm starting a new sentence. It's a pathetic, very vulgar way to speak. I'm trying to avoid it, but because I watch too much YouTube, I hear people say, "So yeah," a lot, and it drives me mad. I can't stop. This basically what I'm seeing here is stuff from Creepy and Eerie from the Warren magazines, and it's been colorized, is what this is. So I guess it's from '83. I assume that maybe Bernie Wrightson kept the rights to his artwork and allowed James Warren to publish it, and then that's how this was later done. That's what I'm guessing. Here's the Bernie Wrightson catalog from a gallery on, oh look, it's the NYCA gallery. So this must be some of his original art that they were selling at this gallery in October of '77. Yeah, that looks like what it is. It's a catalog of his art. Bernie Wrightson was one of the greats. There were a bunch of greats right around that time period. In the late 60s, early 70s, there was Steranko, there was Bernie Wrightson, there was Mike Plug and Neil Adams. Just all of a sudden, it was an explosion of this young talent that had been raised on the EC books and reading the Golden Age and Silver Age comics, and all of a sudden, all these guys in their 20s and probably not much Barry Smith. I don't like saying Barry Windsor Smith. Back then, he was just Barry Smith. All right, that's the best of horror and science fiction. Oh, here's another copy that's not bagged and boarded. We can look at that one. This one's the reprints in this are outstanding. This has to be from, who put this out? It's Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, printed in Canada. What's the name of the company, though? I don't know. It looks very much like they had the original artwork to do this. They were not, this looks really good. Man. I'm telling you. This is why I love comics. This. Do you know, some of you know your grandparents, some of you maybe never met your grandparents, but do you know who their parents were? And do you know who their parents were? In a span of 100 years, if you went back 100 years in your family history, what could you tell us about your family? You might know names in a family Bible. You might know their names, when they were born, when they died, maybe not even that. Or you might just know, well, I'm part Irish, I'm part French, and part German. But what do you know? What part of Ireland or France or Germany? What do you know about them? Do you know what kind of books they like to read? Do you know what their hobbies were? Do you know what the names of their pets were 100 years ago? 100 years is not that long in history. I don't want to be morbid, and I believe that we're eternal souls. And it's like, and of course, you know the people in your family that you met, and then you've heard about people, you've heard your mom and dad talk about their grandparents and what they were like, and you maybe remember their nicknames, but and you know where they're buried, but I guess we'll meet them someday. All our family, all those people that work so hard to make us so fat and lazy and complacent, people that died in wars. My great uncle that's buried in France died of the Spanish flu in World War One. Never got to live his life. We become involved in these wars, and then later we're friends with those countries. And meanwhile, there are people making tons of money off of wars that really want us to be at war, that want us to be in chaos. And then there are people that are trying to prevent it. And I truly believe, so Donald Trump's just like all the rest of them. I never liked Donald Trump. I always thought Donald Trump was a buffoon growing up. I'd see him on the cover of the National Enquirer and People, and he was just this celebrity that was famous. He was rich. He built buildings. That was great. He did, but all I could see was his hair. If I had ever sat down and listened to him talk when he came on Donahue or something, I would have realized there's something behind this guy. I would hear him when he'd come on Howard Stern, and Howard Stern seemed to love him, Now Howard Stern hates him, but Howard Stern is very much been. He is not the Howard Stern I used to listen to several decades ago. Okay, so yeah, I didn't know. Oh, I said yeah, I didn't know. But then, what was it, 2015, right before the 2016 election, when Trump announced his candidacy, and I listened to him, and I listened to him debate the others, I realized I've been misjudged this guy the whole time. Yeah, he combs his hair back into this ducktail, 50s kind of thing, trying to hide probably a bald spot. And he's probably got all these yes men and women that say, it looks great, Donald. And he doesn't give it. He's so rich, he doesn't care what people think. This guy was tormented and was elected and was, and you can just tell by the people that hate him and the people that tried to take him down and lie, and everyone that's horrible hates him. And everyone that's wonderful loves him. So, you can unsubscribe all you want, but I'm 100% for Donald Trump, and I think most people are. And, can we survive until the election? They seem to be really eager for us to be. Every time I do a show, it's like I need to go to, what's happened during the last 2 hours. What's happened? You never can tell what they're going to do next, ladies and gentlemen. But we are at the Hotel Orloff support Donald Trump. And I used to like Ron DeSantis, but I just thought that was pretty crummy. Trump got him elected, basically. And then he should have waited till the next election. He's young enough. He should have waited. And then Trump would have served his second term, and then he would have been the natural successor, but he just had to jump the gun, and everyone hates him now. This is this Keanu Reeves comic book called Berserker that apparently is a Keanu Reeves book that everyone loves it. I only have this one issue. I assume that it's going to be made into a movie with Keanu Reeves, and so he's created his own comic book from which to spin off a movie. Now, Keanu Reeves seems to be an interesting guy. My wife met him at a concert, and apparently his wife, or I guess it's his wife or girlfriend, whatever he has currently, was a lovely person. I mean, they were in a long line to get concessions, and so my wife was right next to him in line. So she talked with him and his wife for a long time. This is just about just a couple of years ago. I don't know. Probably right before the pandemic. And she asked him if he remembered my old friend. And he said, oh, yeah. But he didn't want to say, yeah, that guy saved my life once. Because that would make him seem uncool to his girlfriend. But my friend did bail Keanu Reeves out. They were filming a movie called, it's a really good movie, called Freaked. Freaked. I've told this story a million times. I feel like, you know, your grandfather tells you the story over and over again. Anyway, my friend was the coordinated the special effects, right, for the movie, and it was Keanu Reeves and his friend. What's his that was Bill and Ted, Alex Winter, right? Alex Winter was directing the movie, and he got his friend from. They probably both become multimillionaires off of Bill and Ted. So he's making this movie called Freaked, and Keanu Reeves is in it. Well, they're filming it in Los Angeles, and then the Rodney King riots break out all around where they're filming. And so my friend got Keanu Reeves into his 1950s Cadillac and drove him out through the rioting with his gun in his hand, you know, as he's steering. He had his gun very visible to anyone approaching that Cadillac that he was armed. And prior to that, everyone on the set had made fun of my friend, this Texan that always carried a gun. It's like that's not cool to carry a gun, you know, to Los Angeles people. But when disasters happen like that, you start realizing, where's the guy that always has a gun? Protect us. And so, anyway, Keanu Reeves didn't make fun of him for that. But anyway, the fact that he had that gun got him out. There's a whole lot of these comics. You can probably find them in dollar bins. I don't know. I don't think manga people collect them. They're actually from, I believe, Korea. Is that correct? These Jade Man comics. There's a whole bunch of them. What else is in here? My goodness, the Blue Beagle. I didn't even know I owned this. Here's Bobby Benson's B-Bar-B Riders. This is another one of those 90s comics that reprint old Golden Age or Truman Eisenhower age comics when Westerns were really popular. I talked to Kevin Johnson from Gotham City Comics this morning. Or right before I started the show. You know, Gotham City Comics is the coolest one. I don't know of a cooler comic store in the United States because it's not just a comic store, it's also for monster kids. It's got tons of monster stuff. So it's in Mesa, Arizona. You got to give him a call. And anyway, why did I bring that up? Let me see. What was I just showing you? That might have been the reason why I was... Oh, I'm going to be getting some cool stuff from him soon. So stay tuned. Let's see. Next weekend's the weekend that people celebrate Halloween. I get confused because Captain Strangelife's doing his Halloween show tomorrow night. On the 22nd. That's tomorrow night, Sunday the 22nd, depending on when you watch this, the 22nd. And then the next weekend, the town I live in, everyone's doing Halloween on Sunday night, I believe the 29th from 5 to 7. The whole town schedules a time to do it. It's on Sunday night, 5 to 7, so you know when it's going to be. And it's not actually on the 31st, which is this year. That's on a Tuesday night. So that's... Oh, look at this, the Bradleys. This is really where the Simpsons came from. You can get these books kind of cheap, which is, I don't know why, because they're great, but people have bad taste. That's good for us, right? People don't collect the good stuff. Let me try to show you some. Oh, I always loved Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. This guy was man. He did a great job. Is it a complete ripoff of Wally Wood's art? No, but it's very obviously influenced by Wally Wood, just like all the great artists that we know were influenced by Alex Raymond. Of course, this is a Cadillacs and Dinosaurs spinoff, but it's not his artwork. What do we got here? There's even a Saturday morning cartoon of Cadillacs and Dinosaurs that I think you can watch on YouTube, but I don't think I don't remember anyone ever really. I don't think it changed animation history. But kids, all true kids love dinosaurs. All true little boys love dinosaurs. Oh, look at this. My wife is calling me on my telephone. Let me go see what is up. So I will let Frankenstein's monster entertain you, ladies and gentlemen. And I will be right back after I see what's going on. Because I film on my telephone and I can't answer the phone. We're all in the show. Hold on. I'll turn on some music for you. That's why this episode seems so dry. There's no music. Okay, music. Music, maestro. There we go. Wonderful, 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 beautiful music, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I was off on a whole rant that, you know, you don't remember. Also, okay, here's the thing, you know, you retire from a job, you do a great job at that job, and within 3 years, there may be no one left at that job that even remembers you used to work there. So 100 years from now, people, your descendants aren't going to really remember that, you know, you ever existed. All this stuff, when I pass away, you know, I've let my wife know, okay, here's, you know, maybe she wants to keep it, but, you know, here's who you contact, you know. All my friends, the fossils, you know, if they're still around, let them know. They're honest people. They'll tell you where to go. Reliable dealers that might, you know, talk to Kevin Johnson at Gotham City. I point back there because I've got stickers on these boxes back here. He's going to send me some more stickers. They look really cool on these boxes. See how it spiffies up a comic box. And there's red ones too. And then on this this spinner out here, I thought, see how this thing looks. You know, they down here would be a good place for a Gotham City Comics sticker. Anyway, so you know, in some cases, depending on who your relatives are, a lot of the stuff you own is going to be in the dump, man. Because, you know, a lot of kids don't care about this. I don't think that 30, 40 years from now, a lot of these old comics are going to be worth anything. They're going to be looked at by some people as vile, ugly reminders of the past, and some people will just destroy them just because of that. And I just don't. I mean, several decades ago, big little books were really valuable, and Western comics were valuable, and all the Western toys, and now no one really cares about it because those kids of the 40s and early 50s have moved on. And so there's no one out buying it. Now it seems like people are buying up this garbage from the 90s, and people are buying older books to slab them in a competition to get 9.8 rating or something. So you say, well, what's my whole point, you know, of getting a complete run of a particular comic? You know, I love comics because they remind me of my childhood, or they're just cool. And I'm not really, is it 9.8? I don't want it if it's not 9.8. I don't care about the value. I mean, it's interesting that I've got a few comics. I don't have many comics that are that valuable. Most of this stuff is not that valuable. So what is my whole point? Just have fun. Treat other people nicely. I try to do that. And treat people nicely in this world. Treat other people the way you'd like to be treated. All that. The way you were taught by your mom and dad. And just try to be the best person you can be. Because, you know, the people they're going to be remembered. I mean, if you write a great novel, you might be remembered several hundred years from now. I mean, people like Edgar Allan Poe, or if you're a great composer, you know, yeah, we remember Tchaikovsky, or if you're someone that founds a country, you know, like George Washington or Thomas Jefferson, you'll be remembered. If you make history, or if you create something of significance, you'll be remembered, but most of us just aren't going to be remembered, you know, for, you know, the biggest movie stars 100 years ago are forgotten now. Theda Bara was one of the big movies. I mean, she was one of the hugest stars in the country. Now you can't. There's like one or two existing Theda Bara movies, but all the great ones, like she made a Cleopatra movie, and recently they discovered about a minute and a half of footage of the movie, but the whole movie's lost except for about a minute and a half of it, because there was a fire in the 1930s that destroyed every print. And in some cases, the nitrate film stock that the old silent movies were printed on just turns to dust or becomes combustible and starts a fire. So, you know, we're just be aware. Be aware you're gonna die. I'm just kidding. You're not gonna die. It won't happen. You'll be fine. Just be nice to other people, man. Just, that's why, like, people like Micah, Graphic Man, or everyone loves him. He's the most wonderful guy in the world. That guy, you just that's what you need to strive to be like. And stay away, because there's a huge satanic influence in this world. And I'm telling you, it's all around us. And this is a great book. This is not very old. This just came out recently. This is a brand new book practically. So there's still great stuff coming out. Like this, ladies and gentlemen. This is the kind of stuff I like. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So getting every single slabbed comic book slabbed, and it's like, I've got to preserve the condition. No, you don't. Those putting a book inside plastic that's made from oil and just doesn't breathe. It doesn't. This traps the gases. I don't know. They say you got to change the slab every 10 years. Really? Well, then don't even slab it to begin with. It's all a big racket, and it's all lunacy. And I find the whole mindset of people that collect comics to slab them to be just abhorrent, nauseating, horrific. Oh my gosh. Well, that just can't stand it, ladies and gentlemen. What other books do I have here? Let's see what else we got here. It's dinner time here at Hotel Orloff, so we're going to get something to eat here pretty soon. Man, this is a comic book you can get at Walmart. It's called Red Rooster. Last time I was in a Walmart, I bought this, which was over a year ago. It just looks very much... I just opened it and said, this looks like something I would enjoy. So I guess it's sold exclusively in Walmart. Eric Breen told me it was a Kickstarter project and people paid money to get this book made, and then they saw that it was available in Walmart. They were insulted. It's like, but I mean, you do want these people to make money, right? Because that's how they make more books. I mean, to me, I don't know. But there's powerful satanic forces that don't want you to own anything. They want you to eat bugs. The World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, they're talking about you will own nothing and you will be happy. And they're, look at this Savage Dragon book. They're trying to, they want you to be happy living in a little cubicle and you just stream movies. You don't own them. They're trying to get rid of physical media. They don't want you to own movies. They're trying real hard to do that. And so now I hear that Best Buy, they're not going to sell DVDs anymore. I think CDs are already gone. And then who else was it? I think I heard Target. But Kevin at Gotham City Comics says they're going to, Walmart's going to start selling more physical media. And of course, you can get them from Amazon. Here's Screwball Squirrel. I thought he was called Screwy Squirrel in the cartoons, though. This is not a comic book, but a magazine in the shape of a comic book. It's called Sentai. Sentai is the Japanese word for five-man team. And the five-man team shows every year in Japan, they'd have a different superhero team. They were all called Sentai shows. The most popular one is called in this country Power Rangers. There was one of the Sentai shows was called Zoo Ranger, and that's the one they first brought over to the United States. And they kept the fight scenes, but they filmed new scenes with American actors when the people are outside of their costumes, and then the Japanese company Toei would ship over after they finished filming the series, they'd send the costumes over to the States and all the monster suits too, so the United States people could film new, vastly inferior footage that would Americanize it. Instead of just dubbing it into English, they chose that route, because I guess they didn't think the kids in the United States would watch an Asian cast, which is silly because it worked before with Ultraman in the 60s and Space Giants. But anyway, Sentai. And of course, you know, this book would cover these Japanese superhero shows and things like Ultraman and Godzilla and all those things that yeah. These were the 1970s version of facsimile editions. This is Silver Street Comics number 6. And it's got an ad on the back. But the thing is, in these 70s ones, inside were photocopied. They look like Xeroxes from the 70s. See, it's not up to the standards of today's facsimiles. Oh, there's a facsimile coming out Tuesday of the first appearance of Green Lantern, the Golden Age Green Lantern in All American Comics. So that'll be out Tuesday. But it's a tie-in with what the horrible things they're doing with the Golden Age Green Lantern in the regular DC books continuity. But you still, it's like you can say, well, I'm not going to buy any more DC books in protest of the horrible things they're doing. But these facsimiles are so great, it's like you got to get them. This was a great, fun book, Radioactive Man. And this is supposed to simulate a 1966-67 era book with the go-go checks at the top. Radioactive Man was Bart Simpson's favorite cartoon character. Yeah, they even put the date, May 1962, and number 88. I'm not sure how many issues they put out of Radioactive Man. This one's supposed to simulate the late 60s era. It's the Vietnam War fun set. These really are clever. It really does look like the artwork of that era, with all the psychedelic stuff. And all these kids have sent in their drawings of Radioactive Man, and that's neat. And so this is kind of made to look like when Archie Comics did their superhero books. I've never seen this book they're advertising on the back. Mavis. Oh, it has a cover by Dan DiCarlo. What? The third issue of The World's Greatest Secretary finds Mavis beside her. Look at that. I got to look into this book, Mavis. Anyway, Radioactive Man. Very good. Not all. Yeah, just great. I am so happy and I feel so blessed to feel better today. I really was going through a nightmare. This is supposed to look like a Bronze Age Marvel comic. I could barely walk. It was agony just to stand. And then I had an issue that's been taken care of with antibiotics where it was a lot of pain when I was relieving when I was peeing, like a lot of pain, like extreme, like where they're going ah. And I don't know if I looked it up, diagnosed myself online. I think I nailed it. I think it was prostatitis or something like that. And these antibiotics cured it instantly. So I had to go to a doctor anyway, and all this stuff was going on. So, and we're taking something called my wife and I. It's called Curamed. It's called what is it? I forget what the food. What it's called turmeric, but this Curamed gives you a big dose of turmeric, and it helps a lot. And Captain Strangelife sent me an email about the show tomorrow, and he asked me if I was feeling better, and asked if I was taking. I think he asked if I was taking acetaminophen. I don't even know what all this stuff is. I haven't responded because it's really hard for me to respond on my phone. Typing, it's hard for me, my fingers, and it's hard for me to even see the bright screen. So I'm not really good at answering emails and stuff. But I'll answer them here. Yeah, you got to get this Curamed. If you don't know what it is, find it. It's a little expensive, but it'll help you. And all of you guys out there, here's a fallout shelter you can get. This is best issue of Radioactive Man ever. This has reprints from different time periods. Look at that. They have a reproduction of the 100th issue. This issue is hosted by the comic store, comic shop guy. Comic book guy, whatever they called him. The Simpsons is something, I watched it every week. I loved it. And then at some point, I just stopped watching, and I think maybe there was a season where the writing was clearly not as good. And then I just kind of forgot it was on. I think they still make the show, but it's like you don't even think about it anymore. But it was once such a big part of your life. Do you remember? It's just like I don't ever even think about Howard Stern except when they have him in the news talking about how horrible people that support Trump are. But I never think about him. But I used to be obsessed with Howard Stern and record his show every day, and in the 90s. And it's like now I don't care about him anymore. It's just like, and it's not that I grew up. The show used to be really great, but I don't think I changed. All those other people change. Oh, I just got a text, an email. It just popped at the top of my phone from a store called Collected Comics. That's back in Fort Worth, where I used to live. And I hate when I get those texts from those old stores. Like Collected Comics was a great comic store. Duncanville Books and near Dallas, well, obviously in Duncanville, was a great comic store. There were great comic stores back there. There are comic stores here, many of which I haven't explored yet. But I've got my car fixed recently, and now I can I feel like I have a freer range that I can go from the hotel. Before I was a little nervous about getting out there. Man, here's another issue. This is the one with the glow-in-the-dark cover. It really does work.